Right. And I got the little live thing going. And welcome everybody to GenX Journeys. We'll see if this is working. I'm on Riverside. So this may be streaming. It may not be to Facebook and YouTube as well. So as I do each of these GenX Journeys episodes, I'll start off with something I'm grateful for. And this past week, I have to say I'm grateful for my consistency because for this past weekend, I ran a 5K race, and it was my first race since the Marine Corps Marathon in October. And I did really well. I felt really good. The, the my time was like 38:22, and I'd like to get a lot closer to 30, but I think that's my best time in a while, and that's the best I felt in a while. I didn't start I took my first walk break maybe almost 2 miles in, which is great, and I even ran up a couple of hills without stopping. So, and maybe over the past few years I've had to walk up all the hills. So I'm getting better and stronger. I'm getting ready for the Charles de Mar marathon coming up in September. So I'm excited, and I'm so happy. I'm feeling good so far. So that's my grateful list for today. And today's guest is someone whose story perfectly captures what Gen X Journey is all about. As a little girl, Stacie Jones dreamed of becoming a travel agent and seeing the world. But like many of us, life took her in a different direction. Careers, responsibilities, expectations, and decades passed. Then everything changed, and we'll get into that. But today, she's the founder of AB&J Travel Agency in Ayaton, certified travel advisor, a Guinness World Record holder. That sound familiar? Co-author and an entrepreneur helping people create meaningful travel experiences while reclaiming their time. Most importantly, she's living the dream she first imagined as a child. So you're all gonna love her. Welcome, Stacie Jones.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here with my fellow generation, people that grew up in the same decade that I did. So it makes
Yeah,
me feel
thank
all
you.
warm and fuzzy inside.
Yep, you're definitely one of us. And as I start off asking each guest is what's something you're grateful for today?
Um, Today, I am grateful for accountability. I know it's probably kind of ironic or doesn't really seem like something you would be grateful for, but I have a business partner that held me accountable to get something completed today. And I know if it had not been for her support and encouragement, I wouldn't have gotten what I needed to be done today. And it's like she kind of just said, "No, we're going to pull the trigger. It's going to be today at 2:30. No ifs, ands, or
Oh,
buts about it." And,
yeah.
did not really answer my calls, but she's like, "You know what you need to do." And I'm happy that I had someone that cared enough to push me, because sometimes we get very complacent. And, she's like, "I know this is going to put you exactly where you need to be." And it helped me. And it was nice that someone wanted to help to see me, accomplish what I had initially told her I wanted to do last week. So I'm grateful for those people that hold you accountable. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
Yeah, and now you feel like you accomplished something today, so that's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we'll start from the beginning. You grew up in our generation. You want to talk about your childhood dreams, and where you grew up when you grew up.
Yeah. Like many of you all out there, I was born vintage 1973, and I'll say vintage. So, I grew up watching Dukes of Hazzard and, The Incredible Hulk on Friday nights. I just heard the whole Dukes of Hazzard horn in my head. It was funny. That was my show on Friday night. But yeah, I grew up in Rockville, Maryland, in a suburb. I'm in Montgomery County, and I lived not too far from the beach. I think we're about maybe an hour and a half away from Ocean City, Maryland. And that's really where my love of just being at the beach kind of manifested itself. And any chance I had to go with a friend, neighbor or whomever was going down the beach, I'm like, yeah, I'm going, and I went. And it was a great childhood. I just loved being able to go outside and come home when the street lights came on, and all the neighbors kind of looking out for everybody else's kids in the neighborhood was just something that I really, really enjoyed, and had the opportunity to go down to Florida to Disney World in '79, and, thought that I was going to live on the beach the rest of my life, and that, was certainly going to be my career. And my dad looked at me, he says, we'll revisit that next time we come back. It's like, because I'm not sure if that's going to work out for you. But you're 6 years old, 5, 6 years old, and came back the next summer, and we had a conversation. She's like, "You want to revisit that? What you're gonna do when you grow up?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I know I can't be a beach bum because I need money, but I could be a flight attendant." And
Uh-huh.
just standing out at the ocean, I always felt like I was 10 feet tall. Like I could be anything, conquer anything, and the world was my oyster. And I felt the same way when I was on an airplane, and you make that that transition from beneath the clouds to on top of the clouds. I'd
Hmm.
look out like, oh my gosh, the clouds go on forever and ever and ever, but you feel invincible. Like, just like, this is not like you could stay in the air forever, but I just felt like I could do anything. That kind of, well, not kind of, I know that that was when the seed was planted inside of me to be doing something in the travel industry. I didn't know what it was going to look like, didn't even have words for it. I just knew I
Hmm.
wanted to wake up in Paris one day, Rome the next, and I don't know, Greece or New York or whatever. I just was so fascinated with that lifestyle. But like most of us, you get caught up, and grew up in the 80s. Greed was good. It was all about Wall Street, all about the company jet, the
Hmm.
parking spot with your name on it. And I kind of put away that wanderlust for travel. Didn't kind of fit into that whole 80s Guess jeans, that whole vibe. Nah, it just didn't fit being a
Hmm.
travel agent. And I put it aside, and it always followed me very quietly. Like, I'd have pictures in my room of National Geographic, the different, yeah, because that's our generation, magazines, National Geographic. And I'd frame them and put them in my apartment when I was in college. And I mean, I even went to school 30 minutes away from Ocean City, Maryland, just so I could be closer to the beach. But it wasn't as loud because I had the noise of who I think everybody wanted me to be, who I thought I should be, who
Hmm.
my friends wanted me to be, or what they were doing, and that whole competitive nature. And then I realized, wow, maybe I do like travel. Well, I'll get around to just seeing the world on my own. Well, in 2022, I ended up having a ischemic stroke, and I couldn't do the job that I was doing prior to me investing into my travel business. And I think God, powers that be, decided to slow me down a bit and kind of just bring me back to my roots. And during that time, during my recovery, I, you know, found an opportunity that could work around my life versus the other way around. Me try to fit my recovery, my stroke recovery, around a job. It just was impossible. So that's kind of how I founded my travel agency. And I knew if I could help build somebody else's dream, I surely could help build my own. You look
Yeah.
back and you're like, oh my God, I helped this company achieve this award and that accolade and this accolade, and I'm still at the bottom of the totem pole. And I
Hmm.
had the opportunity to build something for myself and leave a legacy for my children. And I said, this is it. And then I realized, I said, wow, go figure. Thanks, God. 44 years later, three strokes, and I'm doing the same thing that I said I should have been doing at 5 years old. But,
Yeah.
hey, better
Getting back
late than
to it.
never, at
Right.
49, so that's kind
What
of how
What were
I
you?
got here.
What kind of work were you doing before? It was like a corporate
Before
job.
I had my stroke, I was actually in the insurance field. I worked as an in house insurance recruiter for new
Hmm.
agents, and had just developed my own position for a local branch of a very large insurance company. And, just would recruit people who were looking for new careers, but it was in the insurance field. I was scheduling like 250 Zoom calls a week. This was at the beginning.
Wow.
Well, I'd always worked remotely, but
Hmm.
obviously, while I was at the agency, COVID happened. So our reach was broader. So I was scheduling 250 Zoom calls a week for various agents all throughout the US. And with, a 50-cent piece of my brain that has no brain activity, makes it really hard to do that kind of job. It's just,
Hmm.
I couldn't retain things. And I typed Thursday, and my brain would think or look at it, and it would say Tuesday, but it wouldn't say Tuesday. It would be Thursday. So,
Oh
there
wow.
were a lot of things that I just was not able to do at the time. But my company was very gracious and kept me on payroll for 6 months. And towards the end of 2022, I said, gosh, I, you know, I obviously can't do this. I have to find something that is going to meet me where I am.
Hmm.
And so, like I said, I came across this opportunity and I said, it's got to be, this got to be a sign. This is what I always had wanted to do and never did it. And now I have to do it because it fits my life. But what made it so nice is I could work with one family at a time versus masses of information because I couldn't process that. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you're able to, yeah, this helped you like slow your pace to what,
yeah,
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 instead of being
yeah,
dictated to you.
yeah. And it was nice, I could just help one family get on
Mhm.
their vacation or whatever, and it was at my own pace. So it made it
Mhm.
very, very nice.
And this actually sounds more fulfilling too.
Yeah,
Than
yeah,
people,
it
yeah.
was because, like I said, I feel like everything kind of came full circle. And even though a lot of time passed, I get a chance to do exactly what I was supposed to be doing when I had that second conversation with my father out on the beach. I'm like, I'm going to be a travel agent. I'm going to see the world. And I'm going to take care of people because that's what flight attendants did, and it's like, are you okay, sir? And they come and they serve them, and they were helping people get to their destination. So it doesn't look the same as being a flight attendant, but it's in the same industry, and it's the same fulfilling nature of me being able to take care of people and make sure that they have whatever they need to get from one destination to the next and not have to want for anything.
Hmm. And so a lot of people know my story. I'm running a race in all 50 states, so because I'm loving the travel myself. But being a travel agent, what would you? Why? So why does travel matter to you? What in your opinion?
I'm sorry,
Why?
you skipped. You skipped.
Okay, I'm sorry. What would you say? Why does travel matter? What's
Why
your
does it
opinion about that?
matter?
Yeah.
Actually, I look at travel as a chance to reset. I don't think
Hmm.
that, a lot of times you need to change your environment. I hear a lot of people say that they're stuck or they're comfortable or they feel like they can't get to the next level. But you would be surprised when I do help people that are starting new business ventures and they take like a 4-day getaway or a 3-day getaway to just kind of reset and refocus. It gives you clarity. Just sometimes a change of scenery, and it doesn't have to be far. People think travel has to be somewhere exotic. It could be the next state if you haven't been to the next state, or a place in the same state that you've never been in. Just a change of scenery, just to refocus and reset. And a lot of people that I do help travel, they come back and they have like a whole new perspective, like their why they're in business. They're like, you know what, I went out and I had a chance to meditate, be in nature, and actually figure out without the noise what should I be doing. So it can be very, very transformative. Sorry, my stroke, I get tongue tied and I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. And you kind of answered part of it. I just asked what some misconceptions of travel are, and like one thing you alluded to is you don't have to go to exotic places. You could just go somewhere. But are there any other travel misconceptions that people don't have?
Yeah, I think a lot of people all, you know, we're in this day and age of do it yourself and you're going to save a whole lot of money.
Hmm.
But in the travel industry, that does not apply. because we are certified travel agents and agents for our suppliers, we can pass on those discounts to our clients. For example, I have a a daughter and a father that went to Vietnam, and their budget was $6,000 for a 10-day tour. And I was able to get their tour for $3,200, and that included the round trip airfare.
Wow.
And
Wow.
literally, she was like, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No." And I didn't think it was any big deal. I'd never priced a 10-day tour to Vietnam before myself to say, I said, "No, nope, that's what, our suppliers are offering." And, we hit 8 out of the 10 destinations they wanted to see in Vietnam. And she was pleasantly surprised. She's like, we had this money budgeted out, had not done the trip in 4 years because
Oh.
they thought it was going to cover just the expense of getting there, but then they were thinking the money that they had to spend once they arrived. So being able to tell me that they had $6,000 just for the travel, and then I'm telling her, well, it's only going to be 3,200 for everything you want to do, and your round trip airfare is included. She's like, and we've got money to spend when we're there. And I said, yeah, just bring me back something. I'm good with that. Bring me a souvenir. I'm good. So that was definitely one of my most memorable bookings that I did, because this was a bucket list travel for her father. He had
Mhm.
wanted to go, military personnel, so, I thank him for his service, but he had wanted to go back and to visit Vietnam in a different headspace.
Mhm.
And his daughter said she always wanted to be able to give her dad that. And I know they had been sitting on it 4 years before they contacted me. So she was so happy that they were able to do something while he was still young. And a lot of people put off those exotic destination or their bucket list trips because they think it's financially out of their reach. But
Mhm.
it's not. If you partner with a travel agent, a little bit advanced planning, you would be surprised at what you can accomplish and what you can do. Plus, it saves you a lot of time. It's not only just the money. An average person spends about 15 hours planning a vacation. Wouldn't you like to have 15 hours back in your work week that you don't have to dedicate to going back and forth on this website, that website, and price change? And you have somebody that can do it for you.
Mhm.
Just bring me your budget, your destination, and the dates you want to travel. I'll do all the rest. All you got to do is pick out the clothes that you're going to wear while you're going. So, you know,
Yeah, and then you must like vicariously travel through that.
yes, yes, I do. I do. It makes it really nice because I spend a lot of time talking to my clients before they go on their trips to really find out what they want, what type of hotel accommodations, because not everybody wants, a beachfront view. Some people like a garden view. Some people want to stay in the mountains. Some people, want to be in a community. Some people want an Airbnb. So I do spend a lot of
Mhm.
time talking to my clients, making sure that whatever accommodations that I'm able to find for them, it's exactly what they would pick out for themselves. So, of course, we talk. And then,
Mhm.
so we're close. And, one of my things is you always have me in your hip pocket. So, like the father and daughter that went to Vietnam, I changed my clock on my phone to Vietnam time where they were staying so that I'm always available. When they got up, I was up. And when they went to bed, I
Mhm.
was bed. So in case anything happened, they had me right on speed dial. So I do feel like I'm on the trip with them. And of course, they're sending me pictures. And she's like, "Oh my
Oh.
gosh, I'm on one of the night trains." And she's like, "Stacie, there's a chicken." She's like, "Let me send you a video." So she's sending me this video of the chicken running up and down the aisle on the bus that was taking them to the lower parts in Vietnam. And it was so nice. I'm like, gosh, I felt like I was there.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
So if somebody out here listening is like 50, 55, 60 years old and they feel like they missed their chance, what would you tell them?
Never too late. Never too late.
Mm.
I mean, I was blindsided at 49 years old and didn't even know the word pen. And, it's never too late to chase your dreams. I think, especially what I do, you at that age, your family is so spread out. So you want to see them, you know, don't wait. Don't wait. You just got to take the first step, certainly. There's always opportunities. I have a team of agents that I've helped with their travel businesses. And some of them are just in it for the travel perks because they, can get discounted cruises or what have you, but they're making income all at the same time. And I just
Hmm.
feel like it offers an individual a fresh start, a different way of looking at the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah, never too late. I've
Hmm.
got agents that I think my oldest agent is 68 years old, and my youngest
Oh.
is 23.
Oh wow. Yeah. What a
Yeah.
range.
Yeah, it is a range. It is a range. It just has to do with where they are in their lives. Some,
Hmm.
need positions or need careers that where they can. I mean, like right now, I'm in Wilmington, Delaware, and coming off of the event, and I've been traveling the last 3 weeks just visiting family back here on the East Coast, and I'm still able to service my clients. I just booked a cruise for someone last night, so it gives you that flexibility. So your job your job is working around you and what you do.
Hmm.
So what I do now, it works around my schedule, not the other way around, and that's what I love about it the most. Because I have grandkids, and people, and that are my age, are starting their families, are getting bigger, and they're all over the map, and you want to be able to spend time with them, but yet you
Hmm.
still need to earn income. So that's what
Yeah.
makes it so nice, because I'm able to do that.
Hmm. So what do you have what's your favorite place that you've traveled to
My
yourself?
favorite place so far, it has been, I have to say, Arizona in the US.
Mm.
I visited some islands in the Caribbean, and I did like Barbados because I like my rum. So Barbados was a nice destination. But here in the US, Arizona, Sedona was by far my favorite place. I mean, I've been to New Orleans and California and Colorado, but it just there's something about Arizona that is just you can't even put it into words. It's so grounding. I think seeing the Grand Canyon, it being so vast and so forth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just
Uh,
speechless. Really, we're just like in awe.
hmm.
Yeah, truly,
I
truly.
haven't gone to Arizona yet, so that's good to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave. It was one of those places like I really didn't want to leave. I mean, I've never
Uh,
wanted to leave any of my destinations, but that one was like, man, I did.
do you have a dream destination that you haven't done yet?
Um, it might be overrated, but I definitely want to go to Paris. I definitely want to go to
Oh
Paris.
yeah.
And that's just from me being when I was that 5-year-old girl. It was one of the first places like, I'm going to go to Paris. And Paris and
Mm.
Rome. I used to tell people, I'm wake up in Paris one day and Rome the next. So those are my two, just because that was speaking to, the 5-year-old girl. So, of course, I guess it's still there. So I'm hoping to get there soon.
Well, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I'd love to go there too. I'm half French, so it'd be nice to
Well, there you
technically
go.
Canadian French, but yeah, but they came from
Yeah.
France at one point. Yeah,
Yeah, we got to get you there.
yeah,
Or find out if there are any other marathons you can run. And then that's your next set of 5 books you're going to run.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's the London
the overseas
Marathon, and
version.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I would love that. Window seat or aisle seat?
Window seat or aisle seat. Depends on how long I'm flying.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, if it's a short flight, I'm good on the aisle.
yeah.
But because of my stroke, just to be courteous, I normally pick a window just because it's going to take me a long time to maneuver. So I'm
Hmm.
just out of everybody's way. But I, just really just depends on where I'm going. If it's a destination I've been before, I'm okay on a middle or an aisle seat because I don't need to look out the window. But if it's somewhere I haven't been before, yeah, I prefer a window seat because I just like to see the whole landing and taking off. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I used to prefer the window seats, but now I'm thinking of bathroom runs.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, it depends on.
Yeah.
It depends on
The
how
like,
long, yeah, how
yeah.
long the flight is and where I'm going.
All right, and then for some Gen X fun before we leave, what what was some of your favorite music, and what's some of your favorite music from when
I
you
was
were
thinking
growing up?
about Duran Duran
Artists.
the other day.
Oh,
I don't know
really? Yeah.
why. I don't know why. It just popped in my head. I'm like, oh my god, Duran Duran, and like Pet Shop Boys, and of course, I was a Madonna fan. Who I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know who wasn't. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking about
Yeah.
Duran. I don't know why. Popped in my head, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay. And now
Hungry like the wolf.
yeah, I know that's what I was trying to think. And then of course, who could forget Men and Work?
Oh,
Men at
yeah.
Work.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. What is called Benjamin Sandwich. I always think about
Oh,
that
yeah.
song because people are always asking me about trips to Australia, and we have
That's
an
right. Yeah.
office in Australia. So of course, I come from the land down under. Yeah, I don't know all the words, but yeah,
Yeah,
Men at
just a
Work.
Vegemite sandwich. Yeah.
Yep, yep, Men at Work. Yep. So
uh,
I tell you.
do you, well, who were some of your childhood crushes?
Oh my gosh, what was it? Was it Charlie in the Middle? No, Charlie. Something Charlie. Charlie. Who? What is that guy's name? John Stamos. What did he play? He
Oh,
played Charlie or something, wasn't it?
Uncle Jesse in the Full House. You talk about Full House?
No, no,
No, no,
no,
not John
no. I
Stamos.
know he was in that, but
Uh huh.
I'm trying to think. Well, Sean Cassidy,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No brainer. Sean Cassidy. Yeah, I had his poster. Let's see. I didn't really. Yeah, that was like, yeah. Sean Cassidy, I think, is pretty much, yeah. That's it.
Hmm.
Weird to say, like, I love the Transformers, and
Oh, yeah.
my brother burst my bubble and said, "You realize that Optimus Prime? I don't think you can really like a robot." But I didn't realize. I'm like, well, yeah, he's so cool. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, but that whole rollout, that's like, that's John Wayne there. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's the whole John Wayne thing. And I'm like, I guess. But I thought Optimus Prime was like so cool when I was little. I mean, I know it's weird, but I was like, he's like the coolest ever. He's like, he's a robot. I was like, yeah, but he's a person, isn't he? Like, I yeah, that And of course, I love Knight Rider
Oh,
because
yeah.
I was gonna
Hmm.
have a kit when I grew up. When I turned 16, my mom was gonna buy me a kit car, from Knight Rider. So that would have been cool. Pull up at the high school parking lot,
Yeah.
with a kit. Oh, I love Buck Rogers. Do you remember Buck
Oh,
Rogers?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and yeah,
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
We
Those were
like
the
all the same
shows.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. Oh my gosh. Now I'm feeling like getting ready to get in there and try to find it on DVR or whatever, whatever we got now, go back to that
Right.
oldie station as my kids call it. I'm like, it's not old. It's old, Mom.
Yeah.
Do you know how old you are? I'm like, I guess,
Wow.
but yeah, yeah, yeah. Buck Rogers. And do
Yeah.
you
I would.
remember the show Lancelot Link, The Secret Ships?
No.
You remember them?
What was it? Lancelot Link?
Yeah,
No.
Lancelot Link and the Secret Chimps.
No. That doesn't sound familiar.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I like that show. So if somebody
Oh.
remembers that, please reach out so I'm not like insane. It's not just me and my brother making up a TV show. But yeah. And of course, the Muppets. We were
Oh,
diehard Muppet
yeah.
fans. Diehard,
Mm.
diehard Muppet fans. You know, yeah. So,
Yeah, that was great. That because I grew up watching like Sesame Street, Mister Rogers' Electric Company. So
yeah,
by the time I was starting to age out of Sesame Street, then they came out with the Muppet Show. I think around 75 or something. Yeah,
yeah,
that was the
yeah, the
best. Yeah.
Muppets. Yeah, yeah, you know. And like I said, we were talking before, like the whole Friday night lineup, Dukes of Hazard, and
Hmm.
the Incredible Hulk, and I mean, was going to be the Bionic Woman. You know that, like, running faster. So I just,
Yeah.
you know, my mom's like, stop making that noise through the house. I'm like, she's like, no, stop. I remember she used to say that all the time to my brother and I. I was like, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, $6 Million Man was one of my favorite shows when that
yeah,
was on.
yeah.
That show Emergency with the firefighters.
Yes, yes. And remember Chips? Yeah, yeah. Right, right, right. Yeah, we had some good shows, man. Good shows. Yeah, good shows. Yeah. And we
Yeah.
talk about the whole Dallas and Knox Landing and
Oh yeah.
Dynasty felt spinoff. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those were
The
the
big
days.
shoulder
Now,
pads.
yeah, yep, yep. Those were the days. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yes. So, before we sign off, how did you like people to contact you?
Contact me. They can always reach out to me on Facebook, Stacie N Jones, and or you can type in my travel agency, AB&J Travel Agency. If you type it right there in Google, it'll pull up my LinkedIn and Facebook page. And if you want to even give me a phone call, that's fine. Call me or text 513-991-2717. And I may not answer, but you can leave me a voicemail or send me a text message, and I will certainly get back to you so we can get you to where you've always wanted to go.
Awesome. Yep. And I'll definitely be contacting you for my travels.
Yes, yes, yes. And I've already talked to my friend in New Hampshire, and she's trying,
Oh yeah.
what race? Oh my gosh. And she, yeah, was saying something about, I don't know, she says it's about half hour from where they are.
Oh wow, that's
So,
that's good for New Hampshire.
yeah,
Everything's like a half hour away of the
yeah,
closest, so that's
right,
good.
right, right.
Yeah.
So she was talking about it. So she's like, yeah, that's a big deal. I was like, yeah, it is. I said, I got someone that's going to be running the race. I said, so we just might have to go cheer on personally. So gives me a reason
I
to
love that.
travel. Like I said,
Yeah, there
I
you
just
go.
find any reason to travel. So come root you on and go visit a friend I only know on Zoom and see him in
Mhm.
person. So I can't beat that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, great time of year too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice.
all right. So yeah. I just want to thank you so much,
Well, thank you
Stacie, for
so
sharing
much,
your story.
Paul, for having me.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm so glad we met. Yep.
Yes, yes. And don't forget, if anybody knows about Lancelot Link and the Secret Chimps, please put it in the comments so
Yes,
Paul doesn't
definitely.
think that I'm crazy. And I'll try to find a video to send to you.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and I want to thank everybody who's listening and watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.